Welcome to RickRackRuby. I'm Laura Kluvo. Today we will make this Farmhouse Flannel Angel Ornament. She's fun and easy, so let's get started. To make the Farmhouse Flannel Angel Ornament, we'll start with a 25mm wooden head bead. I've completed the face. It's not hard. You can do it. Just follow my video called Focus on Faces. I also have some 6-inch wide red tulle and some 1/16 inch ribbon. I'll cut 2 lengths of the red tulle, about ½ yard each, and also about ½ yard of this ribbon. I'll fold these 2 lengths of tulle in half and tie them in the center with the ribbon. I'm going to trim the bottom of the tulle later, so I'm not too worried about having that all even on the bottom. Of course, I have my trusty glue gun and my Bernina beside me. I'll thread this ribbon through the head bead from the bottom to the top, both ends. And I'll slide that down onto the tulle. Just want to make sure that the tulle fills the hole. I'll add a little bit of hot glue there and then slide that face bead on. I put the glue at the back of the neck. Then I'll tie an overhand knot up here at the top of the ribbon, about like that, and trim the ends even. For the dress, I have 3 5-inch squares of red and black flannel. I'm going to arrange them like this, 1, 2, 3, and sew them together at the side. So I'll seam here and seam here. Then I'm going to press the seams open and fold up the bottom hem and press that edge up about 1/4 inch. I consider the side of the flannel that has the nap, the more fuzzy side, to be the right side. So I'm going to feature that side on the front of the dress. It looks like this. I'm going to press these seams open and then fold up the bottom and press that up about 1/4 inch. Here's the start of the dress. Seam together, pressed open, and then the hem pressed up. I have my machine threaded with black thread. I never understood the appeal of black for Christmas, but now I'm all over it. Now I will apply the black RickRack to the hem of the dress. I like for the edge of the RickRack to extend beyond the hem so that it gives a little scallop effect. And then I might also add some red RickRack. What do you think? Is that overkill? Yes. You know, I have a tendency to over embellish, so I will skip that step. And I'll put these right sides together and sew up the back seam. Now I'll gather up the top edge of the dress by hand. I was looking for some red quilting thread. I don't have any, but I do have this black craft and button thread. I really like this. Starting at the back center, I will fold the seam allowance to one side and secure my knot in there. I'm just using a single strand of this thread because it's nice and strong. Then I'll do a running stitch all the way around the top edge of the dress. There we go. Put the angel inside and gather up the dress right around her neck. I'm centering this, this middle piece of her dress, making sure all of the gathers are distributed evenly. And then I will secure my thread by sewing across through the gathers a few times. And then I will secure it in the back. By stitching through, I'm stitching actually through all the tulle, and it's nice and secure. Now I'll knot off the thread in the back here. The back seam is centered in the back, and the center fabric panel is in the front. Now I'm going to trim off this tulle. I like it if there's just a little bit showing, kind of like a petticoat. Just a little bit. That looks good. Now let's do her collar. For her collar, I have about a ½ yard of 5/8 inch wide white lace. I'll gather this up with a doubled strand of white quilting thread. I fold it under the end to give me something to secure the end to, the end of my thread and the knot. I'll go through like that. Oh boy. There we go. And then I'll just gather up the straight edge. I'm gathering just underneath this header through those little holes. I'm not too worried about getting in and out exactly in a pattern. I'm just gathering it up. Then every once in a while I'll use my thimble to push the stitches beyond the needle. There we go, the collar is ready to place around her neck. So I will attach the ends together in the back just by stitching them together. Kind of distribute the fullness and pull it nice and tight around her neck so that you can see her neck and her chin. And then I will stitch through from the back to the front. And to the back again. And I will secure that thread in the back. She will have a little bow here under her chin, but first let's do her hair. I've prepared this, a 4x6 inch index card, which I folded in half, and then I wrapped 30 to 40 times the long way with my chosen yarn. I like this loopy yarn. And then I stitched the center of it. I'll reach in and remove the card, which isn't too hard, but it does take a second. I'm just tearing it along the perforation that was made by the sewing. Sometimes I pull out the card and there are little bits left, but this one was pretty clean. I'm going to start by applying a line of glue along the top of her head in front of the hanging loop. Then the center of this bundle of yarn is applied directly into the glue. So the stitches are right in the glue, just like that. We're going to fold that back so it makes sense. And then these two ends will wrap around to the back of the head. So I will do one side, I'll apply glue here from about where her ear would be to the base of her neck. And then I will press this side into the glue, and then the same thing for this side. It's easy. I'm holding it for a second to make sure that the glue is tight. And then I'm pulling the hair up where we'll make a little bun. I will wrap this thread around the top of her head twice, pull it nice and tight. We're making a little, sort of a little top knot style. It's really cute. I have plenty of thread, so I'll wrap around one more time just to make sure it's secure. You don't have to use a needle. You can just tie it with a piece of string or thread or whatever, but this is just something that works for me. And I'm making sure that the knot is just above her left eye, because that's where I'm going to add a little decoration. And by gluing the decoration there, it will help to secure that knot. I have a couple of options. You can do red or black gingham. By the way, the Rick Racks and the gingham ribbon are all from Hobby Lobby. These are my options for wings. I was thinking black and white wings, so I think I'll do the red and white gingham ribbon. I'm going to wrap the ribbon all the way around. I always use a generous amount because you can always trim it later. I can remember back in the 80s when I was doing cross stitch, which was definitely not my favorite craft, by the way. And you know, you would be getting to the end of a row of X's and you would have just enough thread if you could kind of like bend your needle. I don't do that anymore. I would just cut a new piece of thread. I'm arranging the bow and then I will cut the streamers. I love it. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue right behind the center of the bow. I like when the streamers point up and out like that. They don't always stay that way though. Next is her halo. This is 20 gauge gold wire. I'm going to cut off about 6 inches and then I'll make a circle and twist the ends. Then I'll bend that up and shape the circle a little bit. This is where I say it reminds me of an egg dyeing tool. I've applied some hot glue to the stem of the wire halo and I'll press that into her hair. I like it to be way up in the air. I'll add a baker's twine decoration right here under her chin. And I also have some black baker's twine, which I could have used as well. This looks good. I'll tie the streamers into knots. Just a little overhand knot. It prevents the twine from fraying. Now for a decoration, I thought about these. I have these, the star and the heart from Target, but I think they're a little big and clunky. So I'm going to try something else. Here we go, one of my favorite embellishments. These little glitter holly stickers from Jolie's Boutique. I think these are from Michael's. I always add a little bit of hot glue to these because I don't really trust the adhesive. There we go. And then I've already prepared these wings. I use a die cut machine and cut out a scallop circle and then I folded it in half and stitched it. But I have a whole tutorial on making wings. It's called Focus on Wings. And I have several options for you. If you don't have a die cutting machine, you can just trace a CD or a DVD onto some scrapbooking paper and use some scalloping shears. There's a lot of ways to make it. So I put a little bit of glue, hot glue there, and I'm gluing that to the back of her head. There we go. Let's have a look. She looks good. Adorable. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.